Hi guys, and welcome to this prelim little video I'm making about how to make a profitable online business in 10 days. Then if you're like I am, you're probably already a little bit skeptical. Money's not that easy to make online, is it? Is this clickbait? Then first of all, I'll show you you don't have to wait 10 days. You can actually make money immediately. And that's simply by buying a website. And a few I had in mind were webs like, for example, I went to Motion Invest and had a look, and I know I get these emails to see if there's any opportunities. And one reason why I'm hesitant about making buying a website nowadays, even though I'm in the sort of my new business is sort of buying and selling websites or creating and selling websites, is because this multiple here, which I believe is 28 times the monthly sort of income minus add backs and things like that. I don't understand it completely myself, but this multiple has gone up considerably. I usually think it's like um, on a yearly basis, like a website these days is a few times worth of what it makes annually, and that's for a few different reasons because of the risk involved with buying and selling websites. It's not exactly the same as buying and selling a house. It could crash. Um, you know, like the income, you might have not good relationships with your riders or something like that. If it's or Amazon might change its rules, and then you'll lose like money like that. Then this multiple is not only a reflection of how much the website makes each month. It's sort of how diversified the business is, how established the business is. For example, a larger website might sell for a lot less and a lot bigger multiple because it's a firmer, more ingrained website in the ecosystem. It has maybe a more diversified range of options, maybe more than an Amazon store. It might have a Shopify store with an email list, blah, blah, blah. Then that's probably worth a lot more. Then this space has become somewhat inflated because of aggregators coming into the business and sort of big business coming in these days and buying up websites and getting a diversified portfolio of content, sort of media sites, and that sort of pushes the multiplier up. Then this $14,000 site only a handful of years ago, or maybe 5 years ago, might have only been worth 5 or 6 thousand, or 3 or 4 thousand. It's now worth 14,000, and it's gone up a lot more than real estate in recent years as well. And that's because you have tools to go and look at the backlink profile. Are the links that are coming in to the website quality links, or are they spammy? Are they what's called black hat, like little tricks to sort of trick Google into going to this website and building up its sort of its profile more than it actually deserves? Then that's the way, but that remains a way that you can go if you are cashed up, time poor, you can go and buy a website and improve it, sell it down the road, and there's a wealth of podcasts, and there's niche website buying and flipping podcasts, and there's quite a few of these online that show you how to do this, and they'll take you through due diligence of buying and selling established businesses for those who don't want to create from scratch. All right. Then, apart from starting from scratch, I guess there is a between step, which is sort of buying an online business that's kind of been started. And like there are sites that go out and buy these. A company's let it go and it doesn't have any copyrights or any tricks or any bad backlinks, or it hasn't been used for spamming by some American or other country, used it for a spamming site to email and spam other websites and been put on some blacklist by Google, blah, blah. Then, companies go out and buy these and keep the links alive, to keep the link juice alive, that you'll more readily have the ability to go out and get traffic immediately, and then you can start earning. If you have like the basic premise under the whole concept is if you can get content and media that people like, they go to, they engage with, and build traffic, you can actually make a profit out of that. Then these sort of tap into that paradigm a little bit. Then instead of buying a $5 domain, which you sort of blah blah.com, cheese.com, um, you know, whatever it is.com, you can go out and buy one on gambling. Like everyone wants a gambling site. We need more gambling sites, don't we? No. But anyway, um, you can go out and buy one that has a bit of a backlink profile, and they'll tell you how old it is, and they'll give it something called like a rating. And you can see this one on this one has been around since 2010. You know, it's got over that time it's had people link to it, and it has like some authority. And sites gain authority over time. Authoritative sites linking into it, and that means you're more readily able in a one-on-one contest to beat another site with the same content, like because you have more authority, you've been around longer. And this one has a DR of 30, and it has 45 referring domains, and it's it's listed in the search engines at the moment. Then you could go out and reproduce the pages that it already has with your own content, very similar. You have to keep everything very similar doing this tactic, and it's a bit of a specialized thing. And that's why this particular company like will offer a contract with some content building with it as well. Then you can buy it, and then you can go add a certain amount of 1,000 words of content to rebuild it, and then you're away. You've got your traffic immediately, and you could even put display ads on it and start a profit pretty well overnight. Then if you were on a budget, you could like sign up to like GoDaddy auction site, and you could wait for them, websites to expire, and then go and auction on these, and you'd definitely get a much better price. But then you'd have to learn how to do your due diligence on buying an age domain properly, and that's why sites like Odie's exist. But what I've actually never tried this myself, although it seems like it's all the rage at the moment. People want to take the shortcut of doing this and not to have to wait a year for your site to rank, and to skip that first year when you start creating a website for it to actually gain some traction. Then a site like that we saw before with a ranking of 30 is that's pretty good authority, and to start with that would take years, like emailing people, getting them to, like how do you get people to link to you? It's a very complicated thing, going on podcasts, and it's a lot of work, and most people tend to really not like that sort of work, and I don't like it at all either. Then actually I had my university blog, which was the site I had at uni, Communication Generation, where I simply posted assignments. I'll get that up. I simply posted my assignments, and I went on podcasts with the unit chair Adam, and I maybe got a backlink through that, and a backlink here and there. Excuse me. I'm going to like play this all the way through, and I simply posted every week, occasionally things that I was doing, but mostly simply my university assignments. And through doing that and having social media connected with it and around it, it gets a few visits, a few visits every day now, like maybe a handful or something, and it has a DR of 10. And what that means is I can now go and make a page, and if I can look through Google and see that most of the sites that are ranking have a DR of 5, then I can rank. Then I'm already starting to use some complicated language like DR and authority and stuff like that. But you don't even have to get that complicated. You can simply go and start a website from scratch, and that's what I'll go through and show how you can sort of start a site, and you don't have to know a lot using this format that I have that I'll share with you. on how to create a website that ranks with effort and work rather than money. Then this is starting from scratch. Then I think the steps I'll take you through in this journey is basically the steps my wife and I took to create this website, Luxury Resort Bliss. And here it is covered in ads, because display advertising actually earns a lot more than the affiliate links these days. Then it's monetized through display advertising. And there's a big ad for niche website builders. This ad must have worked because we're actually paying these guys, I'm paying them to write articles this month, 9 cents a word, and they'll write 10 articles. It's costing $900 for 7 articles it is for this month. Then that's to put a little bit of the income that we're making from the website back into it, that we have some returns down the track. But basically my wife and I made this in 2007, and we had a chart on the wall. I'll see if I can dig up the picture actually. No, that's too much. Then we had a chart on the wall, and we sort of wrote 150 or I don't know how many it was, but it was hundreds of articles, and we then sort of adapted it a little bit and waited. It sort of didn't look like this. Let's put the ad block on. No, later. Then, and like over the years, it sort of started to trickle in income, and there really is a lot of ads, isn't there? And that's fine, because that's how we make income out of it. And one odd thing about ads too, while I'm on tangents, is that we do have another website, Piano Lessons. Get that up. Piano Lessons info here, which we have ads on as well. We've put a different type of display advertising on here from Azoic. This website is Google Ads, and this one we use a different advertiser, Azoic. But basically the concept is you write content, it gets traffic, people like it, and you monetize it. It's pretty simple. Or like you pre-sell the people, deliver, pre-sell them on what you do, prepare them for clicking the link. And the thing that we're preparing them for mostly here is to join this Piano Chords Club. Then the thing I was going to say about advertising is we also run advertising on this page as well. And when we found that we put the advertising on, the display advertising, it doesn't actually detract from people clicking these links where they sign up for this Chords Club, which we sell for like $200. And that's something I wanted to note about creating content sites, and how display advertising can sort of get you started on a further goal down the track. These days, display advertising and content sites are very much coming back into vogue, especially when you look at the price of Facebook ads and things like that. It's much cheaper, and I think it's much more rewarding to go and get direct traffic to your website, whether that's through Google search or from your socials or from the email list. It's much more rewarding and better in the long term, I think, to get that traffic and to build a profile online. Then at some point I got bored with Luxury Resort Bliss, and I went away and I started uni. I didn't want to write about luxury resorts, and my most recent project has been the Green Travel List. Get that up. And I've only started this over the summer, and I found this template. I don't have to make all this stuff, it's already in the template, and people can go and add their listing. Or to start with, I'm adding all the listings, and then I might go and contact people later and say, would you like to go and claim your listing as this person did on the weekend? It's got a little blue tick here, claimed. And I don't know. I gave them free advertising because they were the first people to claim their listing. And it's got a little map and things like that. And they don't have a video, but if they did, there's a little video that can pop up if they have one, and people can watch the video and leave a review. And then I make money out of this one. Well, I don't make money yet, but next year, like by selling these premium plans, listing plans, and where people can get their particular resort front and center, or their particular eco resort front and center. All right, then this one sort of resonates with my values a little more than simply, more luxury resorts, more inclusive resorts. But I do need to pay for funding this one and living in the meantime. And that's why I'm paying writers to add more content, more that people will hopefully like and adds value for this website to fund that project. All right, then you have two projects here. This one sort of like doesn't completely resonate with my values. Not against it either, but this one is more like one of these hard projects. But I'm not going to simply go and make it because that's what I'm into. I've done that before. It doesn't work. I've wasted time doing that. You need to do something that also is viable, can make money, and there's ways that you can search and find out if something's profitable, and if you can win. Then you need something that you can win with. And that's one topic I would go into if I was teaching a course about this. Look at that, 2007. It doesn't take long before it needs updating again, does it? And another way I earn money from this site is through affiliate links. Then you can see, like, I have reviews. There's a lot of pages, and a lot of this is becoming outdated, and it's a lot of work to keep up with it. Having said that, I probably didn't work on it for 3 or 4 years while at uni and other things, and traveling and raising a child. But these links here, you can actually go to platforms and get affiliate links. Basically, if you have the traffic, you can sign up for an affiliate link, or a lot of companies have their own affiliate platforms. Actually, I'll log in and show you a little bit. Then if I want to find an affiliate link or an affiliate to have a relationship with, I can go and search for different advertisers. These are some of the ones that we do have affiliate relationships with. Then if I wanted links for one of these, then I could go and get links, or basically go and search for that hotel within this advertiser. I could get links to a particular product, or a link to some sort of promotion, some sort of banner they have. So if I wanted a banner, I could sort of grab my banner and search for it, or find the particular property they have. No, usually all the banners would show up. And there's like, I can sort of get ones that earn a lot or a little per month, whatever I choose the banner. Maybe it looks like their last minute deals banner for this particular company is working well. And grab the code and put that in my site. Yeah, then these days we earn almost all of our income from display advertising and not those affiliate links. But at one point we used to earn most of our money. Definitely earned over 3 figures from those affiliate links over the sort of course of the website. 3 figures, maybe 6 figures. And it's a little bit hard to do this without sort of using some sort of real world metrics, whatever. If we get 1,000 visitors to the site, on display advertising now we earn $52, $53 dollars per 1,000, as a very rough, not exact way of explaining it. And we then earn affiliate commissions on top of that. And this will obviously vary depending on the niche you're in. This is luxury resort, then this is a pretty good one because it's luxury. Like the people who click on these display ads are probably already a little bit cashed up before they even come here. Then if Google's following them around, um, they're probably more higher end advertisers, and that's one of the advantages of having a luxury site. At the other end of that is that we were to start this site today, it would take a lot more effort probably than we had to put in to get it started. And that's why it's always a good time to start a site, to start building traffic now and start getting that content up. And if it's difficult, to remember that if it's hard for you, somebody else has probably already given up. Um, and that's the way most affiliate websites end, unfortunately. But it's also the reason why you can succeed is because um, like the chances are pretty good if you've done your homework, you've chosen a niche that is not too competitive. And I think maybe that's a topic for another video, is how to choose a niche that you like. It's not too competitive, you can win at, and that's profitable. But that's a good starting place to begin your search. To find that perfect niche, like if you look at the program that we took when we started the site, registering in a 10-day program, registering your site name does not happen until day 5. Then it's important to do that work up front. Is what I get from that is that you really need to look into the keywords, things like I'm not going to go into in this video, but things like the supply and demand for keywords, finding what those tools are. Perhaps I'll make separate videos and separate shows about that in the future. But making this video has been handy today because now I have a real idea of what I can accomplish in one Zoom session tonight. Then I know that I probably won't go into all these steps, but sort of introducing what I have here today. And maybe only doing this intro, which is what these 10 steps are about. And I open up that tab there, click, and there it is. Then the CTPM in this, and I'm using SBI, which is the action guide for the sort of business builder program that I use to create Luxury Resort Bliss in partnership with my wife. But I sort of have this ingrained in my mind, and I haven't even looked at it for years. And I sort of use it when I'm building the Korean travel list today, and because it works. And that's basically this: start with content, build the traffic. You don't even start with your advertising or trying to monetize and all that sort of thing until you're at least 50 visitors a day, and monetize, and you have all those steps lined up before you start. This course went through things like, I'm not trying to sell you this course, and I'm not even going to share the link, I think, but things like find the perfect niche for your business, finding out things like what are keywords, how can the supply and demand of keywords help show you a niche, show you if there's demand for it and not too much competition, and then using things like those keywords and answer the public and this and that to go and create a blueprint for your site, hierarchies and things like that. And before you even start, know that there's a monetization plan at the end. I've certainly built a website using this without this monetization step, and I had the traffic, but I couldn't monetize it. It wasn't something that was easily monetized. Then having that built in from the start. Things like making sure your personality fits, and then starting on your social media after you've got into the routine of creating blog content. You certainly probably don't have to create hundreds of pages like we did. These days, I think it's more about having a lot of good quality content, having the best page. You need to go and look at your competition, seeing what Google's doing, and sort of writing a page better than everyone else, and including kind of a lot of what everybody else has that's of value. Google will tell you what it wants if you go and search. It'll tell you the sort of headlines and things you want, but then you can look even deeper and say, what do people really want? What would I want? Or even doing some research and going a bit deeper and creating the best page. It's possible even today, people. I see in the action goes, it says, yes, I'm ready. I haven't clicked this. Like this to see what's going on. Maybe I'll click through and look at these day goals quickly. There's this thing, they talk a lot in this course about pre-selling and selling. And I imagine the audience I'm speaking to, you're pretty switched on to this. Don't even think I need to go into it any further. Getting a community around you, that's important. And there's certainly a lot of good podcast niche pursuits. I'll probably do a document up with some of the links that I talk about and some podcasts like niche pursuits, niche website builders. Yeah, this sort of takes you through up to entrepreneur mindset and like business ideas and sort of brainstorming your competition and making it brandable. Like Luxuries or Bliss, you don't use these dashes these days, but I guess Bliss is the brandable part of it, and Luxury Resort is the keyword that we targeted for both, it's a profitable niche, but also back in the day we must have thought the keywords were pretty good and there was enough traffic and not too much competition that we thought it was possible. Or perhaps our naivety and our greenness helped us through there. The sort of general wisdom today is to niche down and then niche down again. But I actually think there's value in having a broad site because then you can search for keywords as your site develops and you're not restrained by your initial concept. Then green travel list, I think, is a pretty broad concept as well. You're not inhibited by a particular location. While I'm here, you notice that I'm using this 2022. This is simply, what BuzzFeed did. I looked up what BuzzFeed did because the titles that you give your blog posts, here I am, I'm going into details now, that's fine, like it's a casual video. They actually help you because people are more likely, like I only used to use keywords and then keywords in the titling, blah, blah, blah. But it's actually a ranking factor how many people click your link. Then I probably have to start employing my copywriting and use keywords and find out what people click a bit more often because since I've started using these, my traffic has gone up a bit. Then I think I went back and I did a lot of headlines back here and that's January this year compared to January last year. I mean, COVID's affected a lot of things, but only to give you a bit of background on the site, probably it's not a smart idea to share these sort of metrics, but it seems to make it, when I hear people talk about their website, it seems to make it much more tangible to do that. And certainly when, like, I thought I was retired for good, when we had a few really good years with this website and I never have to work again, there was a few years like 2012, 13, 14 like that before some things kicked in that changed, some algorithm changes. Certainly traffic fell for a number of years, but it does help to, I'm not sure where I'm going with all that. But yeah, it does sort of help to have a bit of a tangible idea of what sort of traffic numbers you do need to make a full-time income. And that's obviously going to depend on your monetization method. Then for this particular website and the monetization methods we use, it's that much. But with the piano chords course sales side, it's obviously going to take a lot less traffic to earn income because we sell the course for a couple $100. And everyone that comes to it pretty well is on an emailing list and already knows who April is, the piano teacher. I'll show you that course. Then this site has got basically zero content. It's all the traffic comes from the other piano website, but it's basically a landing page to buy this course. Then this site doesn't require much traffic at all to earn an income, but it's through a growing social media following that April has. We create videos for YouTube and Facebook, and that's how we get people here. That's how people want to come here. And that's basically a landing page um, with the purchase option. Obviously getting distracted by social media there. Then if I was to make a course, I'd probably go and look at um, showing how you could go and look at other sites to see how they've monetized. Then, yeah, like if you're wondering what you're not sure what you should blog about or whatever, um, start with listening to a few podcasts and things like that. Here's a few of the topics that have affiliate sites on Commission Junction. The Commission Junction example that I used earlier. These are sites that have, like, you could go through something like that and like look at their commission rates and things like that. Look at the competition, see how much people are. And I'm getting a bit lost here. I think I'll go back to the 10-day action plan. Then let's simply have a look at the 10 days that we initially went through to make Lux Resort Bliss, and that I'll use again to make green travel deals, except on WordPress using SiteGround hosting. It's not the fastest hosting in the world, but it's fast enough to get started. And for my new site, yeah, it's basically, this is an off-the-shelf template I bought for $60. Then I didn't go and make all these little things and these little logos and everything. You know, I could find one that was like that or like that. And I didn't go and make all this with the little tiles and everything. I simply uploaded my picture and put it there. And I didn't make it all interact like this. Like that was part of the $60 template I bought with that'll upgrade every year. I didn't make the membership site. That's all part of the template. Didn't make this thing where people can add a listing or claim their listing. That's all part of it. And then knowing the right template or a fast template to use is also a good idea. And that's something that does take a little more research. But if you're making a simple content site, you want a clean, fast template with not too much added on. This is down the very much slower end, but I simply do know how to get this sort of interactivity where people can add listings and things like that. If it doesn't have a bit of weight to it on mobile, but it does work on mobile. I've used it on mobile, and the user experience is pretty good. And for mine, that's always been my benchmark. If the user experience is fast enough, it's easier to use without seeming really slow. I'm pretty happy with that. There's a lot of things that Google has brought in that really focus on site speed. Then, do cut back and make it as clean and lean as fast and get good fast hosting. You don't have to have fast hosting straight away, but over time have a plan to upgrade your site to faster hosting. Obviously, some of this, what I'm saying, is completely over some people's head. For some people, it's not detailed enough. But what I've tried to give you today is a little overview. Tonight's talk tonight, I think I'm going to let it break down into discussions and go off into tangents. Then I'm not too fussed that I don't have a perfect sort of presentation together. We're never going to cover how to make money in 10 days in one and a half hour session or 2 hour session. Then I sort of mostly only want to give you a bit of a window into my world and perhaps inspire you to take a little bit of a deeper look in maybe listening to a podcast or having a look at some more resources later on into how to do this, how to create your own online business. Because I think it does make an excellent portfolio piece in that you can keep working on it. It makes an excellent thing to show your employer down the track as well. But if you don't find that job or you don't land that job or you're looking for something else to do in your future, if you do work towards something that's kind of a little bit close to you, but that can earn an income at the same time, you have the opportunity to work for yourself as well. And that comes with a lot of freedom. It's meant I can travel with my daughter. We travel around Australia once. We went back, my wife's Canadian, then we were able to go over and stay over there, and we continue to earn income while we're overseas, and I find that very freeing. Then the 10 steps were learn some business basics before you begin, find the perfect niche, researching. You come up with 3 ideas. This is the thing that we did with Site Builder, and then picked a niche with the best set of keywords. And there's plenty of if you Google that, like how to choose a niche for your website, you would find all that you need to know. If you listen to like a few different podcasts on that, you would know how to choose a niche. Niche Pursuits have quite a few podcasts on that, and the Blogging Millionaire has quite a good podcast on that, like an episode on that. And check out the Blogging Millionaire. Creating a blueprint for your site. Then that's about probably going a little bit deeper and maybe going to someone like Hrefs or something and taking some of their courses, or a LinkedIn course. You don't have to get too deep into it, but like reading a few articles on creating a site blueprint maybe. And if I was creating a course on that, I would definitely include that as one of the articles in that course. Monetization, we've already sort of covered that. Choosing domain name, yep, then that comes back to the keywords that we talked about, and also something that's brandable. Then I'd also have something about choosing your social media angle, and I'll show you what I do, and I think this is a good way to go, because I have a travel site. It's not going to work with all niches, and your social media will depend on your niche and where your audience is. Is audience the right word? That's advertising, isn't it? You can mix them up when you do this stuff. Then we've let this go. We haven't done this for years. Then sometimes we get some pins we've done, and I barely know how to use this, but create pin, how do I see? Anyone out there? How do I see the pins I've done? Anyway, because it's a travel site, we use Pinterest and put the little Pinterest thing on my toolbar, and whenever I do a blog post, I'll go and post all the Pinterest. I'm very careful to put the keywords everywhere, like in to niche down and write all the keywords in the pin post, like in the description everywhere. And then when I post it to Pinterest, sometimes the Pinterest post will come up before the actual website or anyone's website. Like if you're into really low competition niches. And that's really good because that helps your site, like those backlinks from all those images and everything. Like starting with a very low competition keyword. And what that means is if I can win this niche, like in the Azures, then people will start to link to that simply because I'm number one, which doesn't make any sense. It's nuts, right? But if I can win that category and then people link to it, I don't have to do all that nasty backlinking stuff and getting people to link. Because I have like chosen this niche which maybe 40 people look for it every month. Everyone else, not everyone, but a lot of people out there going for they won't write a page unless it gets thousands. But sometimes if there's low competition, it's not swamped, and you go and search it on Google or something, and all you see is social media posts, that's a very good page to write. And if you go to a tool, let's simply use Word Tracker, and this is a free thing. I don't know if it's any good. So if I've gone to Word Tracker and I put in Eco Resorts, and there's this column over here which is the volume. That's like, and every platform's got some sort of equivalent of this. The two expensive and standout ones are SEMrush and HFRFs. But there's also usually another competition column. And, if there's a few different ones, like say, I don't know how it is, but say there's a few different barley ones, and then like that's 60 to, low competition, 0 almost. Even like barley eco stay, there's another barley one. Then, I'll probably make a barley page pretty soon because of that. Because I want to get really low ones to start off with and get ranked by Google. And instead of having to wait a year to rank, if there's not a good quality page out there, that's what Google hungers for, is a good quality page on something to improve their whole search experience. Then if you can create something with good content for that thing that's missing, you'll rank pretty fast. And you'll get backlinks pretty fast, and you'll get authority pretty fast. And Google will start to see over time that you become the authority in that niche. And that's why they're niches. Then in the structuring your site kind of step, you sort of have to like spend a lot of time with your keywords to start with to really get to know it. And that's the time when you'll often opt out of a particular niche or decide it's worthwhile. It does kind of come with experience a little bit, but you can gain that experience by going out there and having a go, and doing it is the only way you're actually going to learn it. The general wisdom is that, there's always room for another food blog or something like that. But if you try something like marketing, it's usually oversaturated. Even something like SEMrush can give you an overall score of the competition. All right, then. I'm a little bit cringing here because niche marketers usually don't like to give away their niches too much and talk about their websites too much, but I'm not expecting this video is going to get a lot of traffic. But to show you, I've simply come in here to SEMrush, I think that's ISO, and then this keyword overview here, tool here, and you can see that the keyword difficulty for eco resorts, and I'm making an American site. I make American sites simply because the market's much bigger and the opportunity is much bigger. And I even have my servers in the US when I choose where I want my servers when I sign up for my hosting. I'll have things. You can go to Google Trends too and look at things like that, and even intuition, what's on the way up and what's is a good way to look for business ideas. But you can sort of go and look at the keywords here and variations on the keywords. You can see some of these are the same as that was on that word tracker as well. I'm kind of curious now. I want to click some of these. It's gone into the magic keyword tool. I actually signed up for a week on SEMrush. You can get a week free on this and do all your keyword research. And their competition thing is over here. I think it's this KD one. Yeah, that's high competition. And that's low competition. Then I would think that's an attainable keyword to win. Then you make content on it. Make a video if you want. Go and make content on it. But you also need to structure it a little bit. And I have a tool for that. I might actually make this an unlisted video. But yeah, right, if you go in, go to answer the public, answer people's questions, look what other people are doing, look at the headlines of the next 20 websites, consider what people are really looking for, and used your, I'm not using WordPress here, but used your heading in the file name, the page title, the keyword tags, and the description, you're on your way there. You also need to include variations of it throughout your text. And some of the other keywords that you find that are similar, you can actually use them as topics. Like, you probably won't find best practice on any of my pages, but or even that I'm doing what I'm saying, but because this is like I've learned things over the journey, but they even can become topics, and you structure your content to include some of those keyword topics throughout your page. You know, you can even have little keyword snippets like little paragraphs that answer the question for Google in case Google wants to include your little snippet in. You know how it has little FAQ snippets, and it'll give quick answers in their search. That's another thing you can do. But when we used SBI, it actually came with an analyzer tool as well, and mostly I don't use it because I don't like to adhere too strictly to SBI. But it's a bit of a formula, and there's plenty of equivalent tools that you can simply add on in WordPress as well, like SEO tools that'll tell you stuff like this, and they're simply little plugins that you add on. Then it's in my file name, good. It said I should have only put the keyword in once. I should have used it in H2, H3 things. I need to add it 3 variations 3 more times in the body copy. But I generally simply keep a little bit of an awareness of these things as I'm writing these days. I don't tend to put it through an analyzer machine or whatever. But actually SEMrush I think has one where you can, if you go down those list of things on the left hand side, you can actually do that. Like maybe if you had the week trial, you can go and write a few of your pages and get into the habit as well. All right, tick that off. Let's go back to these 10 pages, which are nothing like in order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's a bit of a rambling all over the place. It's kind of my form of encrypting. Begin developing and nurturing relationships with your visitors. All right, that's not only for dating sites, part of the sharing economy. Yeah, I think most of this group has switched on to that, offering value. And yeah, you want data as well, number 9. Yeah, then things like your analytics and who's looking, who's coming, what's working, that you can replicate it. Like even your best pages, like even tracking, like if you've got a page that's number 3 in the search rankings, for example, like if you can get that to number 1, that's a huge difference. Like the top number 1 on Google doesn't get all the traffic. The number 1 position on Google might get 30 or 40% of the traffic, but number 7 will get almost 0, might get 1% of the traffic. Then if you can pass somebody, do that little bit extra, better than the next person, you win actually a lot more traffic. While I'm over that, there's another misconception that I might have helped propagate, is that when I was here on Word Tracker and I was looking at this Bali Eco Resorts, if I won this keyword, it doesn't mean I would only get the, say, 20 visits by winning number 1 spot on Google a month. I might actually get hundreds because I might actually win this Bali Eco Stay one as well. Then sometimes it's a good idea to see what keywords and what that website's targeting as well. Is that cheating? That's what people do. And there's good SEO tools for that as well. All right, and then I think it's start offering your first monetization option. All right, then surprise, surprise, 10 days was clickbait. The 10 steps you don't have to do in 10 days. You can do them in your own time. Then it's not clickbait, it's actually a bonus that I will give you all this extra free time to do this. Actually, I probably should edit that out, but I'm not going to edit this video apart from the times I've pressed pause. Then thanks for watching this. I hope it's been of some value. I don't know if I'll ever continue to make these videos to show other people how to do this, but if it inspires you down the track sometime to have a little bit of further look into creating your own content websites, I kind of think if I can do it, others definitely can do it as well. Yeah, you definitely have advantages in this space that I don't, and I've managed to sort of eke out a half decent lifestyle out of doing this and not become totally dependent on the man for my income, which has been a great source of joy in my life, and hopefully I can share some of that. Then thanks for watching this video.